Fantastic hey! Today we'll build a building from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The Stark Tower. Also known as Avengers Tower, even though they are not exactly the same. The Stark Tower was the residence of Tony Stark, aka Iron Man. It also served as headquarters for Stark Industries, a company from Tony Stark, specialized on military weapons. Later though, the Stark Tower was transformed into the Avengers Tower. They are not equal, but both towers were located at the exact same position, just at a different time. By the way, little fun fact, the Stark Tower and the Avengers Tower are located on the Met Life building in New York, which actually exists. For this video I'm using a lot of Blender and a 3D model. However, I won't show any images and sequences from the movie where the Stark Tower is shown, because Disney is notorious for suing everyone. So without further ado, let's get right into building. We start by outlining the build's ground floor. As you can see, it's a very weird shape, and definitely not symmetrical. This means more work for us, as we can't flip one half to the other side, for example. Okay, I suggest we should start with this part. It's basically kinda the main part where all these offices are located. But which block should we take? So after analyzing several frames from the movie, I think the color must be approximately this one. I found these blocks being similar to the color we need, and when we compare them with the color, I think this block is the way we go. So let's create such a pattern and stack it to the left and especially up. As you can see, I've also added black stained glass behind this pattern, because without it, it would look kinda weird with all those little holes. Anyhow, we'll need the same on the other side. So now we already have two pieces, but when we look at the model, we see they should be more like a triangle, less than a rectangle. To get this, we need to limit those two pieces. To the right, it borders this diagonal line, which we gonna build first. Now here we have a greater problem with the color. So basically all three of them would fit, either from the texture or from the color itself. Yeah, so we gotta have to try them out. I'm gonna go with mud bricks first and switch to the others later on, and we'll decide which one fits best. On the other side, it's a little bit easier to build the border, because it's pretty much just a diagonal line. On this tower, there is a mime styled pattern. We gotta do something not exactly the same, but similar, because we would have to use black concrete and white concrete, but we're gonna use gray concrete and white concrete, because the contrast of black to white concrete, that's way too high. It doesn't look natural, it doesn't look good. But dark gray to white, in my opinion, that's much better. On the back of the building, we also have a pattern similar to the pattern on the sides, but definitely not equal. Now, as we've finished most sides, we're gonna continue with the top, which is, a little bit more detailed than other parts. By the way, I've decided on which block we're going for the sides. And this is white terracotta. When we head back to our model, we see that there's like this kinda half-open tube going all the way to the top, made out of glass. And that's what we're gonna do next. Let's build the top. There we have the helipad, the little platform for Tony Stark to land on, and the platform around the half-open tube we've just built. Now we are nearly done. The most famous part, however, is still missing, and that's the famous Stark written on the side of the building. Now we're only going to finish up the missing parts below the platform and we are done. If you also want to see me build the Avengers Tower, which as I said before is different to the Stark Tower, then just write me a comment. Also, I would be very happy if you also joined me on my other projects. For example, in a project we rebuilt San Francisco on a real scale in Minecraft. Yeah, and all left to say is keep building and bye bye.